This is Learn English with Ease.
English made powerful, simple, and yours.
Jack, have you ever noticed how people suddenly forget English the moment someone looks at them?
Oh, absolutely. It's like English hides behind a curtain the moment there's an audience. One person watches you and boom, your brain hits pause.
And the worst part? It's not because they don't know English. It's because they're scared of being judged, corrected, or misunderstood.
The fear of people watching is real. It's like your tongue becomes heavy, your thoughts run too fast, you overthink every word before speaking. And suddenly, silence.
But here's the truth people don't realize. Everyone watches themselves more than they watch you. Most people are too busy thinking about their own grammar mistakes, their own pronunciation, their own insecurities.
Exactly. But English learners imagine the world as one giant exam room. They think every listener is a judge holding a red pen.
Let me tell you something that instantly changed my life. People don't judge your mistakes. They judge your energy. If you speak softly, shyly, scared, they feel the insecurity. But if you speak with warmth, confidence, humor, even with broken sentences, they feel the connection.
I once heard someone say, fluency is not perfect grammar. Fluency is fearless communication. And that hit me so hard. Because people think confidence comes after fluency. But it's the opposite. Fluency grows after confidence.
Yes, imagine walking into a room and telling yourself, everyone here is just another learner. Nobody is better than me. That one thought can change everything.
You know what causes fear the most? The moment before speaking. Not the speaking itself. That 1 second gap where your brain says, what if they laugh? What if I sound stupid? What if I pronounce it wrong?
Exactly. Fear lives in that tiny gap. If you remove the gap, fear disappears. This is why confident speakers don't wait. They speak immediately. Even if the sentence isn't perfect, they choose action over overthinking.
You know, the English learner who speaks imperfectly but confidently will always sound more natural than the one who stays silent.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone judged your English?
Honestly, never. People judge attitude, not accent. They judge behavior, not grammar. But learners judge themselves so much they think others are doing it too.
The biggest lie English learners believe is, native speakers sound perfect. They don't. Native speakers pause, forget words, use fillers, restart sentences. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from acceptance.
And acceptance is a habit. When you accept your accent, when you accept your mistakes, when you accept that learning is messy, that's when you become unstoppable.
You know what I tell my students? If you want to speak English fearlessly, practice speaking with people who make you feel safe, not people who make you feel small.
Yes, because confidence is not built in silence. It's built in conversations. Real, messy, imperfect conversations.
Let me paint a scene. You're sitting in a small cafe. You want to order in English. Your hands shake a little. You rehearse the sentence in your mind 5 times.
Can I, have one cappuccino, please?
Exactly, but imagine this version instead. You breathe. You remind yourself nobody cares. You look up with a small smile.
Hi, 1 cappuccino, please. Simple, confident, human.
Confidence is often just a small smile plus a simple sentence.
And guess what? The more you speak like that, the more fearless you become. Not because the English gets easier, but because you get stronger.
Speaking English in front of people feels scary because you're scared of being seen. But being seen is how you learn.
Emma, I love that small cafe example, but let's go deeper. Imagine standing in front of a small group like a classroom or a meeting. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and suddenly your English disappears.
Yes, that's the classic fear of being watched. But here's the secret most people ignore. Fear is just excitement wearing a scary mask. Your body is reacting the same way it would if you were about to do something thrilling.
Exactly. Think of fear as energy. and energy is neutral. It can work for you or against you. The moment you speak, that energy transforms. Fear becomes enthusiasm. Nervousness becomes focus.
I once had a student, Maria. She froze every time she spoke in English. Her voice shook. She avoided eye contact. But I told her, don't fight the fear. Use it. The next day, she walked into a room and said, "Hi, everyone. I'm learning English." Loud and proud.
And you know what happened? The room didn't laugh. Nobody judged her. People smiled. They nodded. And she realized something huge. The audience isn't your enemy. They're your mirror.
That mirror reflects not perfection, but presence. Speaking fearlessly is not about flawless English. It's about showing up fully, even when your brain screams, "Stop!"
Let's talk about a practical trick I use. It's called the 3-word rule. Whenever you feel fear rising, tell yourself just 3 words. 3 words are tiny, achievable. You can start with anything. Hello, I'm Jack. Can I help? I like English.
That's brilliant because fear hates action. And 3 words force your mouth, your tongue, and your brain to start moving. Once those words are out, fear loses its power.
And then you can add more. It's like dipping your toes in water. You don't jump into the deep end immediately. You start small, feel the water, and slowly swim.
Exactly. English is a pool of infinite opportunities. Fear is just the lifeguard saying, "Careful, slow down." But once you dip in, you discover you can float, paddle, and even dive.
Emma, I also notice that learners often over-rehearse in their heads. They craft perfect sentences in their mind but never speak. That's the killer of fearless English.
Oh, yes. They build a mental fortress of perfection. But perfection is an illusion. People connect with humans, not flawless sentences. Humans are messy. Humans make mistakes. And humans are bold enough to speak anyway.
Think about it. The first sentence you say doesn't need to impress. It just needs to exist. That's the start. The bridge from silence to speech.
And once you say that first sentence, magic happens. The next one is easier. And the next. Fear retreats step by step.
You know what I tell people struggling with public speaking? Imagine you're speaking to yourself in a mirror. If you can say it to your reflection without fear, you can say it to a crowd.
That's gold. Because fear is really self-judgment amplified. People don't even notice your tiny errors. But we do, inside our own heads.
And here's another tip. Visualize the room as friendly. Even if it's strangers, imagine each person rooting for you silently. Go on, you've got this. Your mind starts believing it. Your body follows.
I like that, because the body never lies. If your posture is confident, even when your voice shakes, your brain eventually catches up. Confidence is first physical, then mental.
That's why I always tell my students, stand tall, breathe deep, smile first. Even if you're scared, fake the posture. Fear hates confidence signals.
And let's not forget humor. Laugh at your mistakes. Say the wrong word intentionally sometimes. Mistakes are not failures. They are invitations to practice courage.
Fearless English is less about grammar, less about vocabulary, and more about attitude. The moment you shift your attitude from, "I hope they don't judge me," to, "I'm excited to communicate," everything changes.
And here's something emotional to remember. Every sentence you speak is a gift. You are sharing a piece of yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. That's priceless.
Imagine if every English learner realized this. The world would be full of bold, imperfect, fearless communicators. And the fear of people watching? It would just be white noise.
Jack, what about the moments when fear hits mid-sentence? When your brain freezes and your mouth refuses to move?
That's normal. Everyone experiences it. The trick is not to panic. Pause, take a breath, and continue. You don't have to fix the sentence. You just need to speak again. Every word rebuilds courage.
And every sentence spoken despite fear is a muscle rep. You are exercising bravery. And like any muscle, it grows stronger over time.
So here's a little challenge for our listeners. Next time you speak English in front of anyone, even just one person, do it with full presence. Smile, breathe, speak 3 words, then continue. Notice how fear melts after action.
Yes, action is the antidote. Fear vanishes in motion. Silence feeds it. Speaking defeats it.
And remember, friends, people aren't watching to judge. They're watching to relate, to understand, and to connect. That's the most powerful secret to fearless English.
So every time you feel watched, remember, they are mirrors, not judges. Your fear is energy, not punishment. And your voice matters, even if it's imperfect.
That's powerful, Emma. Because once you embrace that, speaking English becomes a joy, not a trial. You start seeing every audience as an opportunity, not a threat. And friends, if you practice this consistently, you'll notice a transformation. Not just in English, but in your courage, your mindset, and your life.
Every time you speak, you train your brain to associate English with excitement, not fear. You replace avoidance with action, hesitation with presence, and self-doubt with connection.
And let's be real, life will always throw audiences at you. Work calls, presentations, travel, conversations with strangers. Fearless English is your armor. The first step is always scary. The second step is easier. The third feels liberating. And before you know it, you're not afraid anymore.
Exactly. Speaking English becomes second nature because your brain learns, fear is just energy. I can move through it.
Friends, if you remember one thing from this part of the conversation, let it be this. Fear is temporary. Courage is built in action. Your voice is stronger than your doubts. Speak anyway.
And next time you look at someone listening, instead of thinking they are judging, think, they're witnessing your growth. They're part of your journey.
And that's the mindset that turns shy learners into fearless speakers.
Jack, now we've talked about fear, energy, and action, but let's take it even further. Imagine a world where every English learner speaks fearlessly, every single day.
I love that thought. And it's not just imagination. It's possible for you. Every sentence you speak is training. Every conversation is practice. And every mistake is a step closer to fluency.
Let's talk about consistency under fear. You know, sometimes people speak well once or twice but give up after a small failure. That's when fear wins.
Yes, fear doesn't disappear completely. It shows up again and again. But the difference between a timid speaker and a fearless one is simple. The fearless person keeps speaking anyway.
And that anyway is magic. You don't wait for confidence to arrive. You act through the fear, every time.
Emma, here's a tip I give to advanced learners. Speak out loud to empty rooms. Yes, nobody is listening, but your brain feels the act of speaking. You train your mouth, tongue, and mind. You build fearless habits in private first.
Oh, I love that. And then when it's real, classroom, work meeting, travel situation, you're already ready. Your mind thinks, I've done this before, no sweat.
Exactly. And the power of repetition cannot be overstated. Every time you speak, you reinforce neural pathways in your brain. You are literally rewiring yourself to be fearless.
Now let's add an emotional layer. Every time you speak despite fear, you're not just learning English. You're proving to yourself you can do hard things. That spills into life. Confidence grows. You show up in other areas boldly.
Absolutely. Speaking English fearlessly becomes a mirror for courage in life. Every sentence is a tiny victory that compounds into bigger victories.
And here's a trick for social situations. Visualize your audience as supportive allies. Even if they are strangers, your mind believes they are rooting for you. That belief translates into posture, tone, and expression. You look and sound confident even before you feel it.
That's the secret most learners miss. Confidence doesn't always start inside. It often starts outside. Stand tall, breathe deep, smile first. Then the words come.
And don't forget humor. Mistakes are golden. Say the wrong word, laugh, correct it. You're showing your audience you're human. Humans connect with humans. Fear shrinks in laughter.
Here's another one. Record yourself. Speak English on your phone. Listen back. Notice how much better you are than you think. Every recording proves your courage.
Yes, and share it with someone you trust. Feedback is fuel, not fear. You'll see growth fast, and your fear melts as confidence grows.
Let's give listeners a challenge. Tomorrow, speak English for at least 5 minutes straight, to yourself or to someone, no matter what. Start small, just speak.
And here's the secret sauce. After every sentence, give yourself a mental high five. Celebrate the act of speaking, not perfection. Your brain associates English with joy, not fear.
Emma, I see too many learners waiting for perfect fluency before they speak. But the truth? Fluency grows from fearlessness, not perfection.
Exactly. Speaking imperfectly builds fluency. Hesitating builds hesitation. Courage builds courage.
And every single time you choose courage over fear, you reinforce your identity as a confident speaker. You are becoming someone who speaks English with ease, presence, and joy.
So friends, remember, your audience isn't watching to judge. They're watching to connect, understand, and relate. Fear is temporary. Courage is built in action. And your voice? It matters deeply.
Here's a final tip. Create a daily fearless speaking ritual. It could be reading a paragraph aloud, talking to your pet, or giving a mini presentation to your mirror. Consistency plus fearless action equals unstoppable progress.
And when fear creeps in, remember, it's just energy. Energy that you can use to focus, express, and grow. Speak anyway. Take the first word, then the next. Step by step, sentence by sentence.
Imagine the transformation. Day by day, fear becomes excitement. Nervousness becomes flow. And what once felt impossible now feels natural.
Friends, every time you speak despite fear, you are rewriting your story. From shy, hesitant, anxious speaker to confident, bold, fearless communicator.
And that change doesn't stop with English. It spreads into life. You show up more, connect more, and embrace challenges. Fear becomes your tool, not your barrier.
So here's our ultimate message for you. Speak fearlessly, even if your voice shakes. Speak fearlessly, even if your words are imperfect. Speak fearlessly, even if people are watching.
Because every sentence you speak, every word you share, every tiny victory is proof that you are stronger than fear, braver than doubt, and capable beyond measure.
And if you take this message to heart and practice it every day, you'll look back in a few months and say, wow, I can speak English confidently, even when the world is watching.
Friends, the journey to fearless English starts now. Not tomorrow, not when you're perfect. Now. One word at a time. One sentence at a time. One courageous moment at a time.
Keep showing up. Keep speaking. Keep moving forward. Your voice matters. Your courage matters. And your English journey is yours to claim.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, fear is temporary, courage is built, and speaking English fearlessly is not a dream. It's your new reality.
So go ahead, speak boldly, make mistakes, laugh, grow, and enjoy every single word. Your journey is beautiful, and it's just beginning.
Until next time, keep speaking, keep connecting, and keep shining through English. Your fear is fuel. Your courage is unstoppable.
And friends, know this. The world is listening, and your voice is worth it. Speak fearlessly, always.
See you in your next fearless English adventure. Keep going. Keep growing. You've got this.